Hey guys, so welcome to another baking tutorial. Today we're going to make Afghans. Now Afghans is a traditional Kiwi biscuit which I know a lot of people love. You know, for our household it's my husband's favourite, so yeah, everyone loves Afghans. Now with this recipe it's super easy. Only because there's no milk, there's no milk and no eggs. Okay, so this recipe is really simple. So it only has plain flour, butter. I'll show you as we. Okay, so we've got plain flour. So we've got plain flour. Okay, so we've got 2.5 cups of plain flour. We've got 200 grams of, actually no, we've got 400 grams of melted butter here. With this recipe I've actually doubled it because it actually makes more biscuits when we double the recipe. Okay, also with Afghans you've got the option to do it with cornflakes or with weetbix. I prefer weetbix, but if you want to use cornflakes, that's fine. You just need to add 2 cups of cornflakes. What else do we have here? We've also got 1 cup of sugar, okay, 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence, and half a cup of cocoa powder. Okay, that's it. That's the base of the Afghan biscuit. The icing, how much icing? So we've got about 2 tablespoons of icing here. We've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence, and we've got 3 cups of icing sugar, okay, and hot water. Okay, so that's the icing. So it's pretty simple, okay, and it's really easy. So we'll start, okay, so we'll add the melted butter to our bowl and our sugar, okay. So that's 400 grams of butter and 1 cup of sugar. And remember, I've doubled this recipe, so if you want to eat 12 cookies by yourself, then you just half the this recipe. Okay, so give that a little mix, then add the vanilla essence. We've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence in there, half a cup of cocoa powder, put that in there, and we've got 2.5 cups of plain flour. Okay, now if you're going to add cornflakes to your Afghans, remember to put your cornflakes last. Okay, if you put your cornflakes say after the butter, it will go soggy, okay, and it doesn't really have that crunch. But if you want to have that crunch in your Afghan biscuit, then leave your cornflakes at it last, okay, and don't overwork it. Okay, so I've got everything in here, and now I'm just going to put in my 4 crushed weetbix. Okay, and like I said, you know, it is a preference thing. I prefer weetbix to cornflakes. Okay, and that's pretty much your biscuit. Okay, your biscuit's all done there. So what we'll do is I preheated the oven to 175 degrees. Okay, now I'm not sure if you can see, you'll see that the consistency is just a little bit wet. Okay, add a little bit more flour to it. Okay, because we just want it to be not so sticky, but just enough to form a ball. Okay, so I'll just grab some more flour. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit more flour just to try and dry out the batter a bit. Okay, so your cookie dough should look firm, okay, like this. And what you do is you just pull some off, roll it into a ball, 3 fingers, just press down, okay? Place it on your baking tray with a non-stick paper on it. Just line it with the parchment paper or non-stick, okay? 3 fingers. Now these are pretty quick. They only take, if you've got a fan bake, they only take 10 minutes. If you've just got a normal oven, 12 minutes, okay? See, like so, okay? And how you check to see if it's ready is like when you go to check them, you just slightly press on a cookie, and it should be just firm to touch, okay? When it is, then you pull it out of the oven, okay? Because remember, it's going to still keep cooking on the tray, okay? So we'll check. There is a batch in there already, okay? I'll just go have a look. That one's just slightly wet, so probably needs another couple of minutes. Okay, this is one that I had in the oven about 10 minutes ago, so it is cooling down. So what we'll do is we'll do the icing while we wait. So icing, so we've got 3 cups of icing sugar. We've got 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and 2 tablespoons of melted butter. We've also got 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. Okay, so let me just, we'll just use the same bowl that we had the dough in. Okay, so we'll mix everything in there. Let's put the icing sugar, cocoa powder, the melted butter, vanilla essence, okay, and with the hot water, you'll notice that I actually guess my my water, my hot water. So what we'll do is we'll add it to there, just a little bit at a time. Some recipes just, the Afghan recipes actually just require you to put cold water in there. Yeah, I like to put the hot water in there. Okay, as you can see in my mix here, it's all coming together. Okay, you can add a little bit more hot water. Now the icing should be glossy, okay, it should be glossy and shiny. So you can see that one there, it's looking rather shiny. Okay, so we just keep mixing that in. Now I know the original recipe, like once you put the icing on top of the cookie, they top it with a walnut, you know, half a walnut. We don't like walnuts, so what we use is we use coconut. Okay, I made some earlier, so let me just quickly show you. Okay, so we just like to put the desiccated coconut on top instead of the walnut. Okay, so look at that icing. Looks really nice. Okay, so that's just the right consistency that we want. It's nice and shiny. Try not to see the cookie is warm. It hasn't totally cooled down yet, but try not to put your icing on when it's too hot. It just, yeah, just gives it that runny, ugly look. I think I have one here. I'll show you the difference between the two. Okay. So you'll see the difference between the two cookies. Okay. This one was cooled down before I put the icing. This one I was a bit impatient and I just put the icing on top. Okay. So this one here looks way better. So just leave it to cool and then you can put your icing on. Okay, so let me just get the other one out. And I'll put the other one in. So with this batch, as I mentioned, I've doubled the batch. But if you're just going to half that recipe, it would yield 12 cookies or 12 Afghans. If you double it, you could get 2.5 dozen if you double this recipe, okay, which is what I've done, okay. And that's pretty much it. That's our Afghan biscuit. I'll show you what it looks like straight out of the oven. Okay. See, it's just firm to touch. Okay. Don't think it's undercooked. It will just keep cooking as it sits on the tray. But yeah, that is pretty much an Afghan biscuit. So do try it. If you have any questions about the Afghans or any of my recipes, flick me an email and don't forget to subscribe to my page. Peace out. Okay, so these ones here have cooled down. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just going to add the icing to it. Just spoon it in there. Give it a twirl. Just put it in there like that. If your icing starts to go a bit hard, I'll show you. If it starts to go a little bit hard, you can add some more hot water. Okay. Just like that. Now, if you don't want it to be too sweet, add more cocoa powder. Okay, there's actually some brand cocoa powders out here that are actually a lot more darker than some of the others, and so you can actually use those ones and you'll find that it's not as sweet. Your Afghan won't be as sweet. Is we sprinkle the desiccated coconut. Sprinkle that on top. Sprinkle it while the icing's still warm. done with those perfect Afghans. Those are the ones that I made earlier.